To the powers that be. You should be very nervous about some of the lies you've told because it appears the universe is about to snitch on you. For the rest of us, we should not be afraid. There's no such thing as doomsday. It's possible that nothing at all is going to happen, and if some great event does occur, I believe it'll be merely the next round in a cycle that left people alive all over the globe last time to write it down for us. The floods, quakes, sights in the sky. You deserve to know exactly where I stand on what's happening to our world, but first a bit of background. We prefer electric universe theories to those of mainstream science, as a complement as much as a replacement. The work of the Thunderbolts Project is unparalleled here, and if you ask me, I'll take guys like Nikola Tesla and Ed Leeds-Sconin over Stephen Hawking all day. Now, many people blame our changing planet on weather modification. Take wave propagation. There's no hydraulics at work here. They are just pulsing 0.6 Hz through the water in a manner that creates standing waves where the waveform reinforces itself. This is pretty low frequency, and low frequencies tend to work well on water, much better than high frequencies. We need to remember that. There are low frequency stations positioned all across the country, all across the globe actually. Some believe they are creating bad weather. I believe if anything they're trying to mitigate a natural event I'm going to show you momentarily. Still, not a good idea to play God. These local stations must be wholly separated from bigger ones like Arecibo, which I'm pretty sure is the cause of just about every tropical storm turning north into the Atlantic these days. Separate those even further from the ionospheric heaters of the auroral electrojet, like HAARP. Again, playing God, not good. The true purpose of it is a conspiracy topic, but its ability to expand and spread the ionosphere has my attention. It's got significant implications for mitigating damage from solar events that would juice the electrojet enough to cause critical inductions that would destroy the grid. FYI, HAARP's high frequency cannot zap you or create rings on radar. That's the local VLFs. These are the ways it is able to heat the ionosphere, and it is modestly steerable in these fashions here. To save us both some time, I'll summarize my take on the macro causation of our changing world, as seen in the video Electromagnetic Event, Magnetic Pole Shift Could Be in Progress. This is on the solar system level, and when you see what's happening across our system, it's tough to think humans are responsible. The sun's having an interesting cycle, but we will come back to that. Venus has showed signs of slowed rotation and is brighter than any of us have ever seen it. There's evidence of recent significant seismic activity on both the Moon and Mars. Jupiter's red spot is dying as Red Junior takes form. It's bright as well, and hopefully you remember the flash. Saturn slows as well and has a new megastorm along with cloud anomalies on its moons. We noticed auroras on Uranus for the first time, and then there's the massive ENA ribbon, bombarding the system with strange particles and turning the solar wind back around into the inner system. It runs perfectly perpendicular to the galactic magnetic field. That's the right-hand rule of electromagnetism at work, and a revealing of its genesis and the possible cause of all this change. But you don't live on Saturn or Venus, and it's best to focus on what's happening here on Earth. Now, it was big news at the end of 2011 that thousands of weather records had fallen for heat, cold, tornadoes, flooding, drought. Then, in the month of March 2012, the United States broke 15,000 temperature records alone, a fitting end to the winter that wasn't in the West, and to the devastating winters in both Europe and India. More drought records in the US this year, flooding records across Southeast Asia and Indonesia, a frightening 4 super typhoons so far, record low Arctic ice, record high in the Antarctic. June marked the warmest 12 months on record, July followed as the warmest month on record, and those are all expected to fall again. Let's look at another aspect of the change. Our magnetosphere is weakening, and if that's news to you, you are way behind. Weakening to the point of developing breaches, large holes in our would-be shield. Our field is failing fast, and it's tough to say it's not connected to the polar shift that absolutely is occurring. NASA gave us this article in 2003 showing how our stationary North Pole began trekking north at rates appear to be doubling in distance over time, then doubling in distance over half the time, to the point where scientists the world over were forced to acknowledge a true polar wander. In 2011, we found out that 2010 measurements saw a non-static pole location, traversing 40 miles a year or about 575 feet a day, or at least it was in 2010. The officials have been nice enough to chart this here, along with the movement in the geomagnetic pole. Neither of those is the geographic pole, by the way. They've also been kind enough to do the same for the South Pole, coming up from under south of Australia there. Here they are together, so you can see them moving in generally the same direction. We can also see the strength of our shield plummeting over the last 400 years. The third and primary concern I have lies in our collapsing atmosphere. Yeah, I'm worried about a mega solar flare, but my concerns go both ways. We expect a collapse during solar minimum, but not this much. And I will take a hard line against this article favoring human CO2 emissions as the cause of collapse. I thought heat expanded things. Oh well. The real answer is that this was no ordinary solar minimum. It began normal enough, but 3 years in we began to see coronal hole anomalies with respect to longitude position. Remember this 2007 year of change. 2008 the sun slipped into a coma. It had become one of the lowest atmosphere collapsing minimums of our time. By April 2009, the deep low continued well beyond normal lengths to become the longest in 100 years, but April was not the end. August had a sunspot number of 0, and while late 2010 showed signs of life, it was already the longest minimum we can confirm since the Maunder minimum, and it was a bleak start until March 2011. Now we did break government forecasted high activity marks in November, but since then have been sporadic the last 12 months, with modest sunspot numbers here belying a complete lack of flares we need to expand our atmosphere. Somewhat related, this is the critical frequency of the F1 layer for the year 1999. It's a radio wave skipping measurement, but also indicates the energy in this layer. It goes up slightly as expected, last solar maximum, back down solar minimum, 2005, 2006, breaking quickly to all that remains of climate logic. You might remember this website was taken offline less than 24 hours after I showed the correlation between their water temperature anomaly deviating from normal cycles to the deviation via over-ionization witnessed in the F1 layer beginning in 2007. And as you can see, we are seriously out of control. Interesting to see what comes next. Below the F layer, the D layer is showing signs of change as well. Noctilucent clouds are a rare Arctic phenomenon, or at least they were. They already have no explanation for how the water gets multiples of heights in excess of cirrus clouds atop the ozone where water is not supposed to rise. But they have recently exploded across the globe, along with an admitted baffling of the experts on that one too. Even lower, a brand new type of cloud has been observed and characterized by its low, hanging, wavy underside. Probably been a minute since we saw two brand new types of clouds atop our heads. But what about below our feet? I could spend an hour on this, but we can focus on a few things, like methane releases, groundwater pollution, or any of the things found in the Louisiana sinkhole, which now spans 4 acres. Do you remember this rookie buoy? The buoys flanking the flashing one have shown seafloor anomalies over the last 3 years, and I'm guessing that's why the central one got the job this year. It started this May, and for months we saw nothing until sporadic plunges in depth. Since the water didn't get sucked down and stay there, this means the seafloor is rising. Happened again October 15th, bringing the total rise to near 450 meters, or just short of 1,500 feet in the last 75 days. Tough to imagine that that is not related to this. That buoy sits on the doorstep of a region rocked by double 8-point quakes this April 11th. It is now confirmed that the fault lines were devastated, the crust has begun to break up, that can't be stopped and it will spread. As a preview of what may be to come, those quakes triggered seismic activity across the entire planet. In fact, all of these quakes are now officially blamed on the Indonesian event. It's not hard to see how this could be worse next time. So will the poles flip? Will our shield collapse? Will our weather get weirder, the ground wobble, and our skies juice to the breaking point? This may all reverse and go back to normal tomorrow. You don't know. Welcome to the waiting game. You won't be waiting alone, but you will likely be waiting well beyond December 21st, so while we wait and watch for the solar kill shot, let's not forget what's quickly becoming recognized as possibly the greatest celestial sight of our lives to come. The comet you see approaching is deceptively far away here due to the angle, zooming out and tilting to look directly down from above the North Pole. It is out here near Jupiter right now. It is also on a substantially inclined ecliptic coming in from the north. If you have not guessed, this is Comet S1 Ison, predicted by some to be half as bright as the Sun in November of 2013. As we whip our diagram back around, I have no idea if it will be that big, but if it's anything of note, we will have a Sirius show 2 months earlier in September. If you tilt so Earth's orbit is flat, we see the position of the comet and Mars in relation to the Sun. Using stellarium, we can see what our morning view will be like in September of 2013. It has this comet at very low brightness, so the marker will have to do. Moving ahead day by day, they appear to move as one. It's just the angles of approach. I'll adjust here for consistency, here and there. As we go into October, imagine the Kachina fervor as a bright blue comet approaches the red planet, only to dance together for weeks on end. It's not until November that she pulls away, And we'll jump to the 22nd here, where it's set to conjoin Mercury and Saturn before slingshotting around the Sun. It may be bright as a star, may break into a million pieces. As of this video, mid-October, we still don't know the size and we're not too sure of its trajectory. It is what it is. Now, if you have a brain and a pulse, you should recognize the connections here, and also that I've told you a lot of stuff without really giving you any clue of what's going to happen. It's because I don't know. I'm not special, not smarter than any of you, and I don't have any access to some secret answers. If anyone tells you different, they're lying. Your primary duty of discernment in hearing my opinions is to separate the facts from my opinions and then make your own. And if you haven't already done so, wake up.